Rob, what's your reaction to this?
Just terrible. I mean, we talk about a bad look. It is a bad look. And first, before we get to LaVar, I want to say this. The other referees who work with her, shame on them. Because if they would have removed her and I was working, I was another ref, I would have walked off with her and said, you don't want her, then none of us are working. How's that?
Right.
Because you can't allow that to happen and Adidas trying to take the brunt of it. Oh, well, we did it. No, it's not right. It shouldn't be done. But LaVar continues to do the same old thing. It's a tired act that's bad. And what is this anti-woman thing I'm getting? I just don't. She's out there refereeing basketball. Does he know her resume? Does he know who she really is to say all this stuff about her? And she's trying to make a name for herself. Why? Play the basketball game. You got to play through refereeing. We all know that, right?
Yep.
Referees make mistakes all the time in basketball.
And they have vendettas.
Right?
Occasionally. Yep.
Yeah, they do. But you got to play through it. You just have to.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let them be the ones to decide the game for you. You got to keep playing. It sends a terrible message, and I don't understand why he continues this self-destruction as far as people not wanting to like you. He's done a lot of good things with his boys, which I admire. His idea of even having his own brand, I admire that as an entrepreneur. I think that's all good. But this other stuff is what will make people say, I don't like this guy. I'm not going to buy anything that has his brand on it, and I don't want to be involved or pay attention to anything he's involved. I don't get this part.
By the way, just for the record, Court Club Elite, owned by Ed Rush, the former NBA official, withdrew. Now they won't supply refs going forward. But to your point, I'm with you. They should have, in mass, just said, okay, we're out.
I'm out.
We're out then. And I know you're right. They did
now,
come back, and I'm glad.
Right.
But
They
right
won't do
then
it
and
going
there,
forward.
they should have just said, no, if she can't ref, none of us are
Then
refing.
there was a compromise made for the next LaVar game in which there were supposed to be 2 female referees, but when the game started, it was down to 1 female referee. So go ahead, Shannon.
Let me see. I will say her resume of being an official is better than LaVar's as being a head coach. I feel real comfortable. I feel really safe in saying
I'm
that.
with you on that.
And for you to call, because she's a woman and she made a call that you didn't like, would you have had this outburst had it been a man that would have called this tech on you? Would you have gotten as upset? It doesn't look right. You're the leader of men. And when you're a coach, you're almost like a father figure to these young men.
Oh, you are.
And you're saying that
Well,
they're
literally to one of them,
yes,
because he's your son.
In actuality, it is LaMelo.
Yeah.
But you're telling these young men that we're going to have some adversities in our lives, not just on the court, but you're going to have some in life. So what are you supposed to say? If you have an adversity in life, oh, just quit, just go home and just lay in your bed and wallow? He's teaching these young men, if someone makes a call on you and you don't agree with it, as Skip, as you said, take your ball and go home. This is so ridiculous. This is so asinine. This makes it it makes it easier and easier for me, and I've been one of his staunchest supporters, but it's making it easier and easier for me to like, hey, at this next stop, let me off. I'm gonna let you go ahead and go this one alone. This is unacceptable. There's nothing he can say. I don't care if she called 20 texts. There's no way for him to talk to her and to act the way he did, because he's saying it's okay to quit. It's okay to, they make a call you don't like, I'm out. So not only am I going to quit, I'm going to act a fool in the process of me leaving.
And then obviously being female was an issue. It wasn't just, he didn't just say it's a bad call and I didn't like it. It was about her being, and then say she wasn't in shape.
From the video, she looks like she's in pretty good shape to me. I don't know.
I didn't see anything wrong with her physical shape.
Okay, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's not spare Adidas here, because who created this AAU monster who is LaVar Ball? Adidas created this monster, because Adidas is not sponsoring this tournament out of the goodness of Adidas' heart, right? It's not philanthropic for them to give high school kids a place to play in the sun. No, that's not what's going on here. They want to make money, number one, off these games, and I think they make a nice chunk of change off these games. And number two, for some of these kids, they want to hope that they become Adidas clients going forward, right?
Right.
So, and especially the Ball family? You don't think there's some negotiations going on behind the scenes there? So LaVar has him at a very big disadvantage. So LaVar can do whatever LaVar wants to. And now we have the ultimate creation of what Shaq and Charles Barkley often criticize as AAU babies, right?
Yep.
These are the ultimately spoiled AAU babies coming out of this, because they're some of the best players in America being sent the worst possible message that you could send, which is, if you don't like those calls, just quit. Really? It's so wrong. And LaVar has to know in his heart of hearts, it's just wrong. And yet LaVar gets away with what he's, and again, his promotional genius is like beyond, he is P.T. Barnum reincarnated, because he has genius about what he's doing. And we're still talking about LaVar, but the biggest reason we're talking about LaVar is because his number one son is the polar opposite of everything LaVar. He shares the ball to a fault, and he says next to nothing to the media, right? And I think the number one son is about to change the fate of Laker Nation. He's going to be the new face of it, and I think he'll be able to stand up to it. And way to go, LaVar. I'm not sure exactly how much you had to do with the number one son, but you had to have something to do, and so did the mom. I think the mom had a whole lot to do.
Not only should you quit if the official makes a call you don't like, you should act the fool on the way out in the process and after when you're doing an interview.